Hello, it's Doris with Aldi Books. I turned the AC unit off because I figured you all wouldn't want to hear that, but I don't know if you want to see me perspiring either, so. Well, let's see how this goes. I might have to stop and turn it back on, but I wanted to do a quick catch up on how my reading is going with March finished and April, let's be honest, approaching finished. 2/3 of the way done anyway. So here we go. Here is my little reading calendar. So you can see that January, I read 10 books, pretty proud of that. Then February, I also read 10 books, feeling good here. And then March, 10 again. So I'm on a roll, and you can see that the OCD tendencies would really be liking this 10-10-10 thing. However, the swine flu and the Vietnam vacation and Saturday work days, which here we are on another one of those, are not helping me out here. I've only read 3 books so far in April, and I just have 9 days left. So I'm sweating, man. So I don't know if I can pull it out this month, but you know me, I've got a plan. So let's talk about March. Here are my March reading statistics, if you will. So I finished the book to prize. Robert is proud, thank goodness. So I read 4 of those in March. I also had to finish up the last bit of the February book naturalist pick, which I've already talked about in another video. So that leaves us with all of the readathons in March. March is the readathon month, is it not? So I read To Speak for the Trees, My Life's Journey from Ancient Celtic Wisdom to a Healing Vision of the Forest by Diana Beresford Kroger. This was book naturalist pick for March, but also it works well with the Irish readathon. Highly recommend this book. So if you need a pick for next year's Irish readathon, this would be a good choice. It's a quick read. It's only, it's not even 300 pages, 250 pages. The first 180 of which is a memoir. So if you're into memoirs, you would love this. If you're into nature writing, you would love this. So this quickly goes through her life. It starts out in her younger years when both of her parents pass away at a very early age, and she becomes a ward of the state, and they allow her to go live with her uncle, who is somewhat disconnected. So he doesn't realize that poor girl needs to eat. But, you know, you get along, you end up learning from each other, the child and the uncle, and he sends her to stay with family in a village out in Ireland during the summers, where she learns a lot about her culture and heritage and Celtic wisdom with holistic healing from nature. Really, really fabulous read. And then she grows up to become a botanist and starts saving endangered trees, like finding them and bringing them to her acreage in Canada and starting a heritage forest there. And it is just lovely and immersive. Highly recommend. The last bit is like a Celtic alphabet, and she highlights different plants in Ireland for each letter of the alphabet. And I enjoy that as well because I like that kind of thing. But it is a little more disjointed, that section. But again, it's a very quick read. So there's that. And then for middle grade March, obviously we must do middle grade March, I read Where the Mountain Meets the Moon by Grace Lynn, and this is a Newbery Honor book. So this is my second that I've read from Grace Lynn. I read her book, Dumpling Days, which is her memoir of being a child and going back to visit Taiwan, which is her heritage, and thoroughly enjoyed that. This one is Chinese folk tales, and she has kind of used her Chinese folktale stories that she's heard as a child and incorporated them. I love pictures, so I'm finding you a few more. And incorporated them into this story she's written about a young girl in an impoverished village and a dragon. And it was just thoroughly delightful. They're talking goldfish, and I just 100% loved it. So, highly recommend this one, and I think that I'm going to try to pick up, there's another one along this same idea with folk tales, just constructed just like this one. So I'm going to try to pick that one up in April because I really am loving Grace Lynn's writing style. So then the other ones I read digitally. So for Readathon, I read Birdsplaining by Jasmine Donahue. This one was recommended to me by Karen Evans when I couldn't find the blue tent. I really wanted to read the blue tent for Readathon because I've heard so many people talk about it, Karen and Heather mainly. But alas, I could not find it digitally. So Karen recommended this one, Birdsplaining, A Natural History, and I really enjoyed this. This is somewhat of a memoir, but it is also, I would say, kind of like written as essays with the cross sections of her life and her observations of the natural world, and with the intersection of feminism and the environment. So obviously I'm going to get along with this one as well. So Birdsplaining, and another quick read. So if you need a Readathon read for next year, would recommend that. Then for her story, Readathon, for Women's History Month, I picked up Women in Science, 50 Fearless Pioneers Who Changed the World, written and illustrated by Rachel Ignatowski. This I got along with really well, again, obviously. So this is a great mix of women you've heard about, women you've never heard about, diversity. So really great mix of all of that. I really got along with the illustration style. It's just gorgeous and just interesting tidbits. There's whole page artistic displays, and then like a two-page spread of information with the graphics around the edges for interest. So great pick for Women's History Month next year. So March, I've got you covered here. And again, like if you middle grade, high school, this will be a great addition to your library, your classroom library, just to read aloud periodically. Loved that one. And then the last one I want to talk about, I needed another quick read to get my 10 in. So I read Foster by Claire Keegan. Greg had recommended this one to me. He said I would really love it, and I really, really did. So this book, again, is set in Ireland, so another one for the Irish Readathon. And it's a quick read, super quick. Like, I guess a novella, almost just a really long short story. So somewhere in that range. And it's It pairs well with To Speak for the Trees, actually, because it's another girl. This time, she's not orphaned. She is the oldest in a family that has many children, and the mother is pregnant again, and they're just struggling to make ends meet. So while the mother's pregnant, they send her off to live with relatives who cannot have children and who have more money to take care of her. So it's just dealing with her transition to this new life and this new family unit forming, and then what happens at the end. I won't spoil it for you, but it was just really, really beautiful and gorgeous, and I just felt it. So I'm also planning on reading the other Claire Keegan, Something About Small Things, because I need another shorty. Obviously, because I've only read 3 books this month, and I only have 9 days left. So here is my plan. Oh, I meant to tell you about, I'm sorry. I don't have an image of this one because I forgot, because I read it in the 1st of April. But it was another one that I wanted to read for March Readathons, for March Mystery Madness. And that was The Secrets of Heartwood Hall by Kate Lumsden, BookTube's own. So I'm sure you've seen this a lot of places already in the last month or two. So that was a Victober. I'm so in the BookTube zone. It was a Victorian mystery, and a woman who is recently widowed and has really no one else in the world to depend on. So at that time period, obviously she needs to find work and goes back to her previous career as a governess. And there's an old mansion in this remote rural village, and none of the villagers will interact with it, the people there. So gothic vibes ensue. And I don't read much mystery, much gothic. I do enjoy Victober every year, and a Victorian read from time to time. This was just delightful. I am so happy for Katie. I wish her all the success in the world. And this one just really stands up to the test of, oh my gosh, do I want to read a book from someone I know? What if I don't like it? I loved it. It was fabulous. And again, mystery is not my genre, but excellent. So good, so good. So my plans for the rest of the month, I need to read 7 more in 9 days. OMG. Spoiler alert, Robert, don't listen to this. You won't want to know. I haven't read any more BookTube Prize books for round 2. I had already read Breathless by Kwame, but so that leaves 5 to go. So I do want to read at least one BookTube Prize. I'm in the middle of eating to distinction, so there's hope for me. So there's that one. I need to read the April book Naturalist, Call of the Reed Warbler from Australia for Aussie April. So those are my 2 big reads that I need to finish this month. So the rest of them need to be quickies, okay? So 5 quickies I'm looking for here. So Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute, that's Talia Hibbert, romance, but it's a YA, so it's her first YA. So I think that one will be a quickie. I am currently reading Queer, A Graphic History, which is a graphic novel. So another quickie. The Small Things Like These is the Claire Keegan, that another quickie I'm planning to read. So that's 3 quickies. I'm gonna return the Graceland and pick up another middle grade from my school library, probably the other Graceland if it's available. So that's my 4th quickie. And then I need a 5th quickie. So if you have another quickie to recommend, let me know. Help a girl out to get 10 books in April. Okay, I have to go back to work. We are doing admissions testing for students at my boarding school, and I gotta go. I just finished doing interviews for speaking and listening, and now I need to go grade some writing samples. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back soon. Bye.